Okay, hello everyone. Can everyone see us?
Well, you
We
can't
got
see
some
me a
people in
drink.
the chat. Oh shit, guys, my show's starting to blow the fuck up because like usually when I start my show, my chat room's empty
Mm-hmm.
and then people start filing in, but holy
Nice.
crap, there's actual people in the chat when I start the
Yeah.
show. Man, we're moving up in the world, guys.
Yeah.
I just saw a bunch of these guys.
Oh,
Hi.
they just hopped over?
Yeah, they just hopped over.
Oh, okay.
They just hopped over.
All right, guys. Well, welcome to my show. My name is Donny Cho. And this is Donny Cho Says Stuff. And tonight I have two of my esteemed colleagues from our other show on Wednesdays, Paranormal Show and Tell. We got Randy and Paul here.
Mm-hmm.
And tonight we are going to discuss the greatest of fish, the Donny Cho of fish. That's what I like to call it, the Asian Carp. And I do consider it the Donny Cho of fish. What the Asian Carp is in the American waterways, Donny Cho is in this paranormal cryptid world. So I feel a lot of affinity for the Asian carp, and I welcome my Asian swimming brothers into these waters, and I hope you guys can appreciate it. So, yes, tonight we are going to discuss the greatest of fish, the Asian carp. I see Randy shaking his head there.
Well, good Lord. We're talking about a species that has been let loose by whoever brought it over in the first place. So it isn't quite where it needs to be immigration status wise. So,
yeah, it came into this country seeking new opportunities.
Illegally, probably. It was probably in somebody's pants, more than likely.
It's thriving.
It's thriving. That you can't even get on the daggum river with these things and ride past them. No, they got to throw 90 of them at you, at your head. You got to slap them away. They don't even use fishing poles for these things. They use oars to bat them out of the air.
Mm-hmm. And they think they own the place.
Yeah, no kidding.
No,
I think we need
They kind of do.
We need a wall along the river.
So I'm here to celebrate the Asian carp. Yeah, because I think, the Asian carp, a lot of people in these states, and especially in those states where people have to deal with them in the waterways like the South and the Mississippi River areas and the Great Lakes and in Michigan and all around like the middle part of the country. Even in Canada and Mexico, they're finding them. And they're calling them invasive species. And as the human Asian carp, Donny Cho, I find that honestly racist and bigoted, and I'm here to fight that. And I would like
fight all you want, but if they ain't got papers, we don't need them. Okay,
that's anti-diversity, sir.
Yeah.
Why do you guys have to hate on the Asian carp?
Doesn't make any difference. It's an invasive species. It is destroying our way of life and our waterways.
What's it destroying? There's so much fish now. The fishing is plentiful.
It's illegally pooping in our waterways.
Exactly.
We don't want
it's illegally pooping in there, and it's eating the natural born fish. So now we've got to take these silver carp, Asian carp, whatever they want to call them, stuff from one minute to the next. And by the way, they taste like crap, so there's no sense in catching them and trying to eat them.
How dare you, sir? How dare you make fun of our cuisine? Look at that. Does that look like it tastes like crap to you?
It does.
Yeah, it
does that look like it tastes like crap?
Oh yeah, we're on Donny's show today. I forgot.
Have you guys?
Okay, shit is what.
Let me ask you guys: have you guys actually tried Asian carp?
Yes, actually, I have.
I have not. I'm just going on what it looks like.
Oh,
that was very bad. Trust me. Just think about it. Carp. It's a bottom feeder. No, these really are not, but still. Anyway, they're bottom feeder. Carp's a bottom feeder. It eats all the crap. Okay.
I mean, put that picture back up.
Which one?
Back up. Either one. They're both disgusting.
Yeah, they both look at.
That looks good. What are you talking about?
That's because
I would eat that.
That looks better than the other one. That looks better than the other one.
This one?
That looks like it's got worms or something crawling
exactly.
all over it.
Oh yeah, in Asia we eat the whole thing. We eat the skin and everything.
No.
And the eyeballs.
And I mean, actually, carp is mostly.
Go back to that one. The Asian carp 3 ways.
Yeah.
They got fish tacos. That middle one's a fish taco.
You can make anything into a fish taco.
Yeah, if you deep fried Yeah. You could deep fry anything. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I've tried Asian carp. Asian carp isn't really a thing in Korean culture because in Korean cuisine we eat a lot of like red snapper, a lot of tuna.
It's not an Asian cuisine because it's here. It needs to go back.
How dare you, sir?
I'm telling
that's
you,
not inclusive of you.
Okay, so we really can't set a wall across the water, okay? But we can sure as hell set some nets, okay? And we can get them suckers out of there. And
there you go.
Send them to the dog food factory, whatever the case might be. Deport them back to Asia. I don't care. Okay.
I don't think I want my dogs eating that though.
There's like a lot of tiny bones. It's actually I've eaten it before. It's kind of a pain in the ass to eat because you got to kind of sift all the bones out.
Any carp. I've had
crab legs, but they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had carp and gar and Asian carp as well. They all basically have small little bones throughout them. So you got to just kind of be careful when you're eating. But most of them are so, especially if it's small enough, they'll literally, it's like, have you ever fished for small speckled trout? I mean, speckled trout in Colorado, you don't talk about, some of them are about like that big, but you pull them out of a stream. You gut them and you fry them whole. You eat the whole thing. Take the head, guts out and just fry that whole body. You eat bones and all, literally, because it's like chewing cartilage.
So I think the reason why people are so butthurt about Asian carp is because they're out competing all those fat, lazy American fish. Those American fish that are too fat and lazy to get off their asses and do something about it. And the Asian carp is just, I don't know, just way more efficient at everything. And it busts his ass and it reproduces like crazy because they're essentially fuck machines. And they're efficient as hell. And these fat, lazy American fish are just kind of sitting there letting the Asian carp take over. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I come from the gaming world. And you know what? We have a saying in the gaming world, in the video gaming world. It's this. No matter how hard you try in a video game, no matter how many hours of practice you put into a game, there will always be an Asian guy out there better than you.
Oh,
and I'm sorry.
No. You got a time out there. There ain't just that. You ain't talking about all these times. I'm talking about even the Asian guys that put all those hours. Guess what? There's a button masher out there that's going to beat him too.
Oh, not a button masher.
Oh, yeah.
Like catfish, those are like the button mashers of the sea, right? They'll just eat whatever the fuck that's sitting there on the bottom, right?
Water, so they wouldn't be on the sea. So
don't they have catfish in the sea? Aren't they kind of both?
No, not that I know of.
They're not both? Oh.
No.
I thought they were
catfish are river and lakes and stuff like that mainly. But
sorry. Do I have to apologize because these American fish are just too fat and lazy to compete?
You're getting
my bad.
Triggered too easily here, okay? You're getting too triggered too easily, and we need to rectify this situation right now, okay?
Yeah, those fish can hang. What can I say? So I did a little research.
The Asian
actually,
carp can't hang, or the
the American fish, right? Because the Asian carp moves in, it's eating all the stuff. Yeah. Everyone's all sad for all the American fish. Stealing poor Mackinac trout. I'm like, fuck off, trout. fucking lazy piece of shit.
I like what Mickey said there,
but they're good.
Yeah. What did Mickey say? The Bruce Lee of fish. It is the Bruce Lee of fish because it jumps out of the water and fucking flying jump kicks people in the face, showing off the martial arts skills.
Just because he did it one time. Just because he did it one time to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you think he can jump to the moon, okay?
Yeah. And I think people who are against the Asian carp, not only are they jealous, but I think they're against diversity and you're not inclusive. Right. So you guys need to learn to be more inclusive of the Asian fish.
Have mercy. You know what? I tell you what, let's put those Asian carp in the same river with a few snakeheads that is also an invasive species from Asia. Let's put them both together and see which one ends up winning.
Oh yeah, that would probably be ugly.
I about to say where you're at, know all about snakeheads up
there. Yeah, Asians don't mix very well. That's something that people don't quite realize here in the West. Like most Asians like kind of hate each other. It's kind of funny, actually. Like Japanese and Koreans fucking hate each other. All right, here's a story that I tell people sometimes. I had like this old ass like because both my parents are youngest kids, so like a lot of my aunts and uncles are like way older, and I had like this old like red, like he's like the equivalent of an Asian redneck. He's like in the countryside in Korea, and he's like,
oh, cool.
He's like a farmer and shit. And one day he was like, we were eating dinner, he was getting drunk, and he was like, you know what I regret about them dropping the atomic bombs on Japan in World War II? And I was like, what, uncle? He was like, my only regret was they didn't drop 3. Like, he hates Japanese people with a passion, right? With a passion. You know, and yeah, Chinese people hate Japanese people real bad.
But how does he feel about Asian carp?
What's up?
How does he feel about Asian carp, though?
Yeah.
Actually, it's not as available in Korea. So, I mean, they have it, but like in Chinese restaurants, it's okay.
So once again, what we have is a situation of somebody not having all they need in their native lands and being brought over here and let loose in our lands and thriving. So they're taking our stuff away. Our fish cannot survive properly because they are invading.
Yep.
So which fish are suffering the most from the Asian carp?
Oh, hell, I don't know.
Rainbow trout. I don't know.
Rainbow trout? Do you guys like rainbow trout?
I don't know why rainbow trout in it.
Oh,
sounds good.
I've never tried I don't know if I've ever tried rainbow trout.
I don't think I have either.
The ones that are suffering the most are the people on the boats trying to go up and down the river because they're the ones getting hit in the face by these sons of bitches.
And it's embarrassing to get hit in the face by a fish.
It is embarrassing to get hit in the face by a fish.
Groups.
Yeah.
Think of how bad it feels if you're doing 35, 45 miles an hour down that riverway and one jumps out and nails you. It ain't fun.
Yeah, I was for research for this episode. I was watching videos on YouTube. I saw this one woman. She actually got her jaw broken by one. I was like, yikes.
Yeah, it's not pretty because these people. You would think they'd be smart and go kind of slower on those rivers that you know that they're in. No, they're going full. They're breakneck speeds, 35, 40 miles an hour, and just waiting for them to jump out just so they can see them. Are you stupid? You're a
they were doing. Well, in this video, they were doing redneck fishing, right? They were literally out on the boat, and apparently, like, they had like shotguns, and they were like shooting them out of the air. And this lady was shooting them, and then this one comes out from the side and fucking nails her. And I was like, you know what? That's karma. That's karma.
My God, that is the most hilarious thing I've ever heard. Actually, there was who was that? Mickey, I think somebody was talking about with bow and arrow. I think it was.
Yeah.
I actually saw a video where these guys are going up and down. And they are literally sitting there bow fishing. They got to wait. They can't do it. They got to wait till they're out of the water and try and pick them up with a bow in the air. And I'm just like, y'all have entirely booze in you or too much time. One of the two.
Do you know how hard that is?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I ain't doing it. No, not happening.
Yeah, that's not. And arrows ain't cheap like that.
Well, they all have the little reels like bow fishermen do.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. No, that works then. Yeah, if you got it like a string. Still.
When you're bow fishing, you're shooting at something that's usually about 4 or 5 foot long. You're not shooting at something 2 foot long.
Yeah.
In the air, moving.
Well,
not knowing exactly where it's going to come out at.
Exactly. You got to be ready to pull. Got it.
But yeah. I mean, maybe those fish, they're just not trying hard enough. They don't have enough motivation or ambition. They don't. They fuck around in school. They don't do shit.
Talk to all them largemouth bass so they can learn to start taking them carp out at the egg stage. Okay, they're gonna be Nemo'd. All right.
There you go. I like that.
So I figured out how carp. So I did a little research actually on how carp got introduced. So they were introduced into the waterways in the 70s. Basically, it was aquaculture where you had like these catfish farms. And they would put carp in there to clean out all the algae because Asian carp, well, the silver and the big head carp, there's 4 kinds, right? There's the silver. The silver is the one that jumps out of the water, and the big head. They're essentially like filter feeders. They eat plankton and algae and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So they brought them in to clean out the water for the catfish. But because of a couple of hurricanes, the fish got loose into the rivers, and the rest is history. So one of the reasons why they're so hard to fish is because they're filter feeders. Like you can't really catch them with bait because they're not really interested.
Oh yeah, the Asian carps, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
they have to be netted most of the time. Yeah.
Yeah, the black carp and the grass carp, they do take bait, and apparently they're pretty good fishing. People seem to enjoy fishing them.
I don't know. The grass carp actually take bait. Have you ever walked up on? If anybody's ever been around an actual grass carp, this is the most. You think there's an anaconda in this grass by the bank? If you ever saw one.
Oh, it's eel-like?
Really?
It's huge. I mean, we're talking about after they've had time to grow and actually clean out of. They'll get up into the mud and stuff around the bank and get into the grass and start, chawing on it. But they literally just kind of dig in and they kind of just start to. You don't think nothing about it until you're, a foot away from them. You're like, oh, what the heck is that thing? And you realize it's a grass carp. I made the mistake of reaching down and touching one. You'd have thought I'd shot him, first of all. And this thing probably was about 3.5, 4 foot long.
Yikes.
He had to have weighed 40 to 50 pounds. It was monstrous, but he kept the place clean. So, you leave him alone, obviously. And in Texas, you have to have a permit to actually get them. So,
do you have to have a permit for the silver carp?
I don't think I don't think they allow them at all down here. Silver carp, the silver carp. I don't think they allow them at all.
Oh,
well, that's good.
I'm sure you got a bunch of those near you, Paul, right?
I have no idea.
Oh,
I mean, all we have here is the Mississippi, and I mean, you don't want to eat anything out of there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Same thing with Acatink Bay up there in the DC area when I used to fish it when I'd catch the snakeheads.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, I'd have to kill them because the guys out of Virginia's wildlife bunch or whatever you want to call them, the Parks and Recreation, whatever their game wardens and stuff. You call them up, you give them the grid coordinate where you caught it at, and then you have to kill it. They said you can eat them, but they also don't recommend anything coming out of those waters that you eat more than 8 ounces of it a month. That's not even a good fillet. I mean, if you're going to tell me I can't do that because of the PCB warnings, I ain't eating nothing out of that sucker.
So I was watching this Vice documentary about the Asian carp, and they were showing about how there is actual commercial. There was like one guy doing commercial fishing.
Yeah.
Right. For Asian carp. And, they were kind of following him, right? Documenting the whole thing. And he catches like a fuck ton of Asian carp with nets. And then he brings them over to a processing plant and he gets like $1,000 for a day's work, which is not bad, right?
No, not too bad at all.
Yeah. And basically, they explain how, there is a market. Like what they do is they'll take the carp and they'll either take it to like sell them at Asian markets or export them to Asia, where there is a high demand for them because people actually do really, really like eating them. But they asked the people there, why is Asian carp such a huge problem? And they said, it's out competing all the fish. But another issue is that Americans just won't eat them.
They look gross.
Well, I've ate carp, real carp before. I've ate carp, I've ate drum, I've ate buffalo, and that there is a fish called a buffalo. So, but
does it have horns?
No, it hits like a damn buffalo. That's for sure. When you get one to actually strike, but that's because of the way I was raised. I mean, anything you caught, if you're catching for food, you're not catching for trophy. We go out fishing for food. That's what you're there for. If you're not out fishing for food, you release everything. Everything gets nowadays take a picture and not throw it back.
Or commercial fishermen, but that's
that's
there's no market for it though.
Yeah, they're making money off that. But anything I caught, didn't matter what it was. Gar, carp. We've actually taken carp and actually canned it like you would. People would can vegetables and stuff out of their garden. We canned it, and it became later on it was just something we could pull out like a tuna almost.
Wow.
So I mean, and I don't like I said the Asian carp I had it tasted like a regular old game fish to me. It didn't seem like it was like a normal carp bottom feeding type. In all honesty, it tasted halfway decent. I mean, it just tastes like fish.
Well, they're not actually bottom feeders. They're filter feeders.
Hunters.
Yeah, they're mostly plankton and
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, They're not bad, so I can't say that.
Yeah, it's just a lot of bones. It is kind of a pain in the dick.
Yeah, cat food. There you go, real cat food.
Yeah. No, apparently there is commercial fishing for the pet industry. I mean, there's an abundance of them.
Really?
I'm sure people should be able to find a use for them, but they don't, because they don't like a little diversity in their diet, gentlemen. They're anti-diversity, and that's wrong.
No.
All right, I'm going to go into complete anti-affirmative action mode now.
Oh, here we go.
Not happening. Well, I can't say that because people call them largemouth, but we called the largemouth bass black bass for years. So does that make me inclusive?
But people like bass here. Bass are a popular fish here, right?
Yeah, well, you got white bass,
that's
black
coveted.
bass.
Yeah,
Smallmouth bass, which there's no females in that at all. Let's see what else. What other bass are there? Rock bass, peacock bass.
Peacock bass?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, you catch peacock bass down in Florida, actually.
Really?
Huh. They're technically South American. They're another invasive species.
Oh my God.
Technically speaking.
All these illegal fish coming up here.
Hey, there's a certain comedian that I used to follow all the time, and I've bought every album the dude had from probably 2000 to 2006. His name was Rodney Carrington. The dude just got arrested in the last 6 months coming into Florida with his freaking pants full of smuggled in turtles. And I'm like,
why turtles? What was he going to do with those turtles?
Hopefully they weren't snapping turtles. That would hurt.
Well, I think that they were those the redneck or whatever they're called, the long neck red snappers. I'm not for sure what the name of it was, but they were ones that aren't sold even in pet stores hardly anymore. But because they get out in the ponds and stuff, and they kind of take over.
He had them in his pants.
Yeah, and the reason he got stopped because his pants were moving.
Is that a turtle in your pants? Or are you happy to see me?
But he had like 60 of them shoved into his pants.
So, yeah, it's funny how. Oh, one of the things I also heard in the documentary that they were talking about, they were actually talking about the one fish that does eat carp is alligator gar, and they were talking about reintroducing like a whole bunch of alligator gar into the waters to deal with the carp. I'm like, that's a good idea. Alligator carp. What's wrong with that?
I don't know why you would introduce alligator gar anywhere, first of all.
What's wrong with alligator gar? I thought people liked alligator gar.
Who likes alligator gar?
They're cool. They're like alligators, but with fins.
Their heads are like alligators. Their teeth are not like alligators, and their bite is so hard and fast. Alligators grab and roll, right? Now these suckers slice. Okay.
Ugh.
And they get one about 6 foot long when you get it on the end of a rod and reel, and you cannot do anything with it.
You can't eat it?
Well, yeah, you could probably eat it, but you know what? You're going to need a hacksaw to get through the damn scales. They're like armor.
Yeah, that is a pretty prehistoric ass looking fish.
Yes,
you're like, man, that's something out of the dinosaur age, man. Shit, look at those things. By the way, I first learned about alligator gars on River Monsters with Jeremy Wade. Fucking love that show.
Oh,
and where did he catch his? South of Dallas on the Trinity River.
That giant thing?
Yep.
Damn.
That was in the Trinity River.
Yeah, I love that show.
And his was small.
The fish he caught?
The fish.
Yeah, I heard some of them get like stupidly big. They don't stop growing, actually.
His was 160 pounds, and that was small.
Wow.
But he also went after the arapaima in South Africa or South America. Remember, he went after the arapaima when they were doing the little thing, and he got the one tried to jump, and it hit him in the chest, and it actually bruised his heart. It hit him so hard.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Some of these pictures that I'm looking up, they're at least 6 feet long.
Yeah.
Alligator gar?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
vast
nuts.
majority. If you see one, you can see smaller, but don't get me wrong, but the ones everybody talks about are those 6 foot or better. And his wasn't even 6 foot. It was only about 4.5.
No, I've seen some. Aren't there pictures out there of like ridiculous ones, like Hogzilla ones?
Oh yeah. Some of them they estimated to be over 400 pounds.
This one that I'm looking at almost looks like a dolphin.
Yeah. Damn. And they got except armored up.
Yeah.
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 An armored dolphin.
Ready to go. Yeah, because with the gar have an actual kind. I shouldn't say lung, but they will inflate they'll open their mouth over the top of the water and inflate their swim bladders.
Yeah.
And they'll absorb the oxygen out of that, almost like they're breathing.
Yeah.
That's why they can live in that stagnant water so long.
No thanks.
Yeah.
So you tried it? How did it taste?
Gar?
Yeah. Like chicken?
Gar's just like any other fish. I mean, it's more of a I don't know if you ever had swordfish. It's more of a meaty style. It's not a flaky style fish.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a meaty style. It does have the little bones, like I said, but they're easy to find and pick out. So you notice them real easy.
Is it any good?
Yeah, I thought it was great.
But it must be a real pain in the ass to like process and prepare, right?
Yeah.
Because you got to.
I never did an alligator gar. I always did scissor gar. So I get about 2 or 3 foot long scissor gar, and I'll fillet them out. But as far as alligator gar, no, I've never processed an alligator gar, and I just wouldn't even take the time to do it. If I got it, I'd if it wasn't a spot where I thought he needed to come out of the river or something like that, or say 6-8 footer or whatever you pull out, yeah, he needs to go because he's going to eat everything under the sun, and the other ones ain't going to grow. Okay, so you get him out. Now you take that to a processor who could really process it. You could feed a family for a month on that if you do it right.
Yeah,
because you're talking about you're going to get probably about 100 to 110 pounds of meat off of it, just straight meat.
Damn. Damn.
So, I mean, the protein would be there, but you wouldn't get obviously the nutrients you need from red meat and poultry and stuff like that. So, but still, if you just ate fish, you could you could eat that for a while.
So, carp meat is actually quite flaky and it's white. It's like very soft. It's a little bit bland, but they say like. They say an interesting little trivia bit I did pick up on when I was like kind of reading stuff for this episode. Asian carp is actually safer to eat than other fish because they don't get as affected by like all the heavy metals in the water because they primarily feed on like plankton and algae. They're not as affected by like contaminants into water as other fish, so they are like compared to other fish you would find in the same waterways, they're safer. So I thought that was an interesting little bit of trivia.
Well, it's kind of like it's kind of like when you go and you fish for catfish. Okay, I got people telling me blue cats are the greatest thing in the world, yellow cats the greatest thing in the world. To me, the blue cat and the yellow cat, they're the bottom feeders. They sit there and they forage along the bottom and eat whatever's there. When you talk about channel cat's an active predator. It'll hit like a lure like a bass does. Maybe a lot harder than a bass, but it'll go after plastic worms. It'll go after spinner baits. It'll go after anything that it can get. It's an active feeder. So to me, that meat is 100 times better than the meat from the bottom feeder, because bottom feeder, you got a mud taste to it. I tell it, it's just the way I see it. It's a mud taste.
That's mean, Randy.
It is what it is. It's a mud taste.
Man, that's
it's just like with stripers too. People talking about striped bass out there. Stripers have a red vein through the meat that needs to be cut out because it's got some sort of. Some people say, it's got a wild flavor to it. No, it's just got a crap flavor to it. It doesn't taste good with the rest of the meat. You need to get it out of it so that way you can actually have the white, flaky meat.
Paul, what's your favorite fish to eat?
Right now, we do sole. It's I call it sole manure, but it's a French recipe. It's sole minier. My son learned it when he was taking French class.
Okay.
Very, very freaking good. Just awesome.
So they use as a fillet of sole.
Yeah. I mean, you can also do cod and stuff with that and stuff, but the cod isn't as good.
Well,
we don't get it fresh here. It's all frozen, and
everything's frozen.
Yeah, frozen sucks. But
well, I mean, that fillet of sole cod, like you just brought up cod. How many years was cod considered a junk fish that you've just gotten people's nets and the commercial fishermen didn't want it? Then they turn around and use it for bait. Then they're like, oh, wait a second. We can actually take this cod and we can make, well, guess what? Here comes all the fish sticks. Here comes all the fish planks. Here comes all everything.
I love me some fish sticks.
Yeah.
It's all processed cod. Every bit of it's processed cod. So, you're like, man, how many years did y'all throw that crap away without using it?
Well, why can't they do that with Asian carp?
Because when you just throw it back to Asia.
Yeah.
How dare you guys?
Personally, I think we got to boil it in front of them and then dangle it in front of them saying, this is what's going to happen. You send any more. Okay.
How dare you? This is about diversity, guys. Diversity. You guys don't like diversity? Actually, I think diversity for the sake of diversity is honestly fucking stupid. But that's just my own personal view.
You talk about like forced diversity, you mean?
Yeah, forced diversity is fucking stupid.
Well, it kind of is what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, your evil overlords will make sure you're taken care of. Just trust them, okay?
There's been just too many stupid ass examples in like Hollywood lately where they just race swap a character and it's pretty obvious what the agenda is or the reason for it. Where you're like, at least make it make creative sense.
Yeah, or oh well, this is an Asian character. We need an Asian actor. Well, that's a no-brainer. If it's a cartoon, who gives a shit though?
Yeah, who gives a shit?
I mean, honestly, and I'll take this right now. I'll throw this one out there right now. Family Guys, case in point. For years, Cleveland was voiced by a white guy. Okay, till the last four seasons or so, maybe 5 seasons, they decided we're going to bring a black guy in. He sounds almost like him, but you can tell the minute that they brought that guy in, Cleveland's voice is just a little bit different, and it's got a little bit changes to it, and the inflections and such doesn't sound the same. Now, don't get me wrong, I think his name's Mike Smith, or something like that. I can't remember, but he does Consuela, he does Mr. Herbert, he does several voices on there. He's not like he's missing out, and he's like, hell, okay, bring somebody else in. I don't have to do that work no more.
Yeah. I was watching something on I guess it had all the cast members for The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to me how many different voices that they all do.
Oh yeah.
Each individual actor. Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
How many does Nancy Cartwright do? Like 4?
Yeah, I think
so.
She does Bart, Nelson. I can't remember who else she does though.
Yeah.
And Seth
Rogen?
MacFarlane.
Oh, MacFarlane, yeah.
Seth MacFarlane, he's Peter, he's Quagmire, he's Stewie, he's Brian, he's freaking the Doctor, he's Carter, he's who else is he? Good Lord. Seamus.
Well, that's like Mike Judge too.
Yeah, Mike Judge was everything in that.
Yeah.
And King of the Hill.
Ever seen Seth MacFarlane do interviews?
Yeah.
I mean, they would ask him questions for each specific character, and he would not miss a beat. Just
without even thinking twice.
Yeah.
Him and freaking Alex Borstein, because she does like almost all of the women voices on there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that one Seth MacFarlane story where he was like almost on the plane on 9/11.
Yeah.
And then I think Mark Wahlberg was the same way. And then they wound up becoming friends because of that shared experience and did TED together.
Well, Wahlberg is just funny, actually, in general, most of the time. If he's got somebody writing for him, he's hilarious as hell.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think a lot of this forced diversity is the reason why all these movies and video games and shows have been sucking lately. It's not so much the characters and the stories that I mean by the forced diversity. It's like the diversity quotas they have to fill in the writing rooms, where now you're having like you have to have a person of color, you have to have someone who's like, like a different sexuality in the writing room, like it's part of a checklist, which has nothing to do. Like, how does that affect?
Yeah,
just write a good story. Who cares if it's
if the guy's, I say the guy's gay, you got to have a gay person in there. He can't write for shit, but we're gonna bring him in anyway. Or we got to have a man of color, a woman of color in there.
Yeah.
Okay, bring in. There's this. Only reason I say that is because on the Family Guy thing again, that Cherry, whatever the hell her last name is, that's on the daggum. Her name is literally that freaking long on the credits.
Well, because they have to fill in the quota. Okay, so let's say it's like something for like Marvel or Lord of the Rings, something with a lot of built-in lore, like an established IP, right? Because they're so busy filling in these diversity quotas. One, they skip merit, and two, a lot of these people they bring in aren't even fans of the original source material. And you see that reflected in the quality of some of these new iterations of these established IPs. For example, Rings of Power.
Yes.
What in the actual fuck? Okay. Well, this last episode, they had Galadriel fucking making out.
Yet. I'm not caught up yet. You messed me up on this.
You're watching it?
I watched the first season. I haven't touched the second season yet. I'm waiting to binge it.
Wait, did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it.
All right, I'm going to give a spoiler away because this shit was so. As a hardcore Lord of the Rings fan, this shit was so stupid. It broke my fucking brain. Okay. They had a scene where Galadriel fucking makes out with Elrond.
Okay.
I'm like, these motherfuckers don't know the source material
at all. They're just writers, and they want to throw it all in there. That's all they care about.
If you read the Silmarillion, Galadriel's like Elrond's like mother-in-law.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, what? These people didn't read the Silmarillion, like the source material that the entire show is based off of.
They did not care.
They didn't give a fuck, right? They just did whatever.
Fill a quota.
Yeah, they're doing a prequel, so they said, "Oh, well, that gives us carte blanche to do whatever the fuck we want."
At least have them be like hardcore Tolkien fans. At least that's what you would expect, right? The people who write these stories. If you see someone writing like a Batman or a Superman movie, right? Wouldn't you want to have someone who is like a DC or a comic book nerd or fan writing the show?
You would like that, yes.
You would expect that, right?
But now you're dealing with case in point. We were just talking about it before the show. You got these idiots that think they know everything about Star Wars, shitting on all these Star Wars shows when it's not warranted. So,
yeah, they disrespect the old stuff. It's fine. It's fine. Maybe the old stuff has to die. Maybe the old stuff just has to go away. Maybe it wasn't as valuable as we thought. And maybe that is the lesson that the Asian Carp is bringing.
No.
Maybe the older and the inefficient stuff.
The Asian Carp's bringing more people getting into a fight
about it. Just got to move out of the way for some diversity.
No, we don't need to move out of the way. Hey, I got a video somewhere. It's a video of Red Rover with Gen Xers versus Gen Zers. And let me tell you something. Ain't a Gen Zer that wins, okay?
All right. Well, gentlemen, I propose we swerve this conversation now. I propose this is a hidden swerve that I had planned to bring both of you guys on that I didn't mention to either of you. Okay.
Do you like being surprised? Because I don't like being surprised.
This is a surprise topic. To surprise topic swerve swing. Right, so
remember, this payback's a bitch. You know that, right?
Okay. So let's give the people a little bit of a peek behind the curtains, gentlemen. Okay. This past Wednesday, Paul was there.
I wasn't there.
He was there with me. This past Wednesday, you and we did an episode of Paranormal Show and Tell with Krista. She had to fill in because, Brandy had stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
But Randy was away. Now, the problem with Randy being away was that it was Randy's show. It was Randy's turn to steer the ship. It was his topic, and he leaves. And
No,
Paul,
actually
why did he not show
before.
up? Do you remember why he didn't show up?
Some 80-year-old singer concert
84,
thing.
thank you very
84,
much.
84. Okay.
You had to watch some 84-year-old fossil sing.
Walk around with. Did he have a walker?
No, he didn't move as much as he used to, but yeah, he was still moving.
Now, I believe this person that you went to go see watch was Tommy Lee Jones, who I didn't know could sing.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
Actually, if you look at it, I bet Tommy Lee Jones is probably 80.
No, he's about that age. Yeah, he is about the same
about
age.
80.
Yeah. But I loved him in Men in Black.
But let me explain this to you.
Too.
I'm going to stop this right now. That is Sir Tom Jones to you. And I like rock and roll shows that people do actual rock and roll songs.
Yeah.
And actually have people that actually play instruments behind them. So therefore, it was an amazing show.
Now,
Tommy Lee Jones is 78.
Okay, he's close.
So there you go.
He just had a birthday, by the way. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Tommy Lee Jones.
And he lives in San Marcos. So
yes.
Give you that right now.
Where?
He lives in San Marcos, Texas.
Oh, really?
Now, correction. He's got a place in San Marcos and he's got a ranch in San Saba. So, but he's very, 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 very private. Do not go on there because he is true Texan. He will shoot you. Okay.
Yeah, and I loved him in The Fugitive.
Yeah.
I loved him in Men in Black. I not so much in Batman Forever. That movie was dog shit, and his performance as Two-Face sucked.
Yeah, but that was just a bad movie all the way around.
That was a bad movie. Joel Schumacher just took a dump all over that franchise.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Poor old Val Kilmer didn't know what to do.
Man, when I saw that movie in the theater, I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Is Val Kilmer still alive?
He's still alive?
Barely.
Yeah.
He he can't talk anymore. I think he has a cancer kazoo.
Yeah.
I'm not for sure. But I don't think he actually talks a whole lot. Tim Curry's the one that caught me off guard. So he's he's invalid right now.
Yeah.
Oh, he's invalid, really?
Well, pretty close to it. He's had a couple of strokes, the way I understand it. And he's in a wheelchair.
Oh man,
that dude.
Tim Curry.
That's another one that's like a great to anytime you see him in a show, it was going to be good. It didn't matter what it was going to be good.
That dude was. There are certain actors who are like that. Tim Curry, Gary Oldman for me.
Oh yeah, Gary Oldman too.
He's really good.
And a lady that just passed away, Maggie Smith.
Maggie Smith.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Anything that woman was in was great.
Yeah, she had a lot of on-screen charisma.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, but there was a big travesty that occurred because of your wanting to watch Tom Jones.
No, it was about it. I did watch Tom Jones.
Oh yeah, you did. So
but before that, you wanted to watch him. So there.
You're right. I did, and I had those tickets bought a month and a half out or 2 months out, or the minute they went on sale.
So did you watch this past Wednesday show, Randy?
I glanced at it a little bit, but I didn't get a chance to actually sit down.
Yeah. So I feel like I was attacked. I got dog piled on all of a sudden during the show, and I was blindsided.
By who?
And I was shocked even.
Did Krista mess with you? Do we need to have a talk with her?
Well, what happened was Paul and Krista were talking about like Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks, and I didn't know who they were. I was like, I've never heard. I'm not familiar with Fleetwood Mac.
Wait, time out.
I didn't know who Stevie Nicks was.
Well, Randy, it gets worse. He thought Stevie Nicks was a guy.
Well, yeah,
this is ranking up there with Rob not ever seeing Beetlejuice. Okay.
Hey, that's not fair, guys. If I had if you had no idea who that person was,
I am flipping this on you right now. You were raised in a vacuum bottle, and there is no help for you whatsoever. You don't know who Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks is. Okay.
If you didn't know who they were and you said this person's name is Stevie, your first assumption is going to be their guy.
My question is, in what reality do you not know who Stevie Nicks is to start with, though?
Yeah.
I don't listen to that music.
And you get mad at me when I don't know any K-pop too, remember?
Well, the difference is, okay,
Well, I
here's
don't
the
know any
difference
wrestling.
though.
K-pop's been around for 10 years, where Stevie Nicks has been around 70 years. Okay, got it. Yeah, but still.
That kind of music, that's the music of the past. K-pop is the music of the future.
Yeah, let me know how many
Stevie
Grammys
Nicks is
y'all
still
win, okay?
touring, so she is
Yeah.
music of the present.
She's still touring. I don't think she's going with Fleetwood Mac anymore, though.
No.
So wait, is she the singer of Fleetwood Mac, or does she play like an instrument
One of
for them?
One of them.
Oh, one of them?
She plays the tambourine.
Yeah.
Oh, she's one of those.
Yeah.
She sang the little song Landslide.
Never heard of it.
Oh my God.
You haven't heard the Dixie Chicks version of it?
That don't even bring that up.
Oh, I have heard.
horrible.
Oh, I thought that
can't
was
stand
their original song.
Are you
No.
freaking kidding? No.
No.
I thought that was their original song. I heard that song on the radio.
She's the only
Z100.
woman.
That was Stevie Nicks.
She's the only woman that has been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice. Once as a single artist and once as a member of the group Fleetwood Mac.
Mhm.
The only member?
The only woman so far. Now they're about to do Ozzy Osbourne, which he's going to be in as
Black
a
Sabbath
single and
yeah.
Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
I like Ozzy Osbourne or some of his stuff.
Now I looked at the list of the people that are inducting for this year, and I was like, who the hell came up with this list? First of all, are we running out of people to put in there?
Yeah.
I think we actually are.
They put
what are the qualifications for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Be somebody that the board likes.
Yeah, because I mean,
it's all arbitrary.
A normal Hall of Fame, like say Baseball Hall of Fame, you have to be retired for what,
5 years.
6 years.
Yep.
I mean, some of these people are still producing music.
Yeah,
wouldn't you want to do this after their careers over?
Most of these people can't keep their money long enough, so they end up blowing it. So they have to keep producing music, or they'll go broke.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Springsteen. Springsteen still put music out after he just sold his entire catalog for $150 billion or whatever it was. But he's still, I like producing music. Problem is, nobody wants to hear your music. Okay,
right. I
didn't like your music before you did it. All right, so
wait, how much did he sell his catalog for?
I think his went for like 400 and some odd billion. Bob Dylan, who is probably one of the most prolific songwriters in history, sold his entire catalog for $350 billion.
350 billion? Damn. With a B?
Yeah, maybe it's million. I could have swore it was close.
350 billion.
Now that you said that, I think, billion's kind of tough. Okay,
billion with a B.
But it was
Bruce Springsteen sold his catalog to Sony Music Group in 21 for an estimated 550 million with an M.
There we go. 550 million.
Yeah.
Now,
that's still a fuck ton of money. Well, it could have been. Well, that's a lot of money.
There's other contingencies on it, because he doesn't get any royalties off the stuff being played. They get all the royalties now.
Well, that's the point. Yeah.
What he did was getcash.com. He just sold his annuity, is what he did.
Yeah. And Bob Dylan sold his for a little more than 200 million.
Okay. Yeah. So but Bob Dylan is still writing music, and still producing, songs for other people. I don't know if he may still be touring. I don't know. Look at Will.
Wait, why does Bruce Springsteen get more than double than what Bob Dylan got?
Well, I think Bob Dylan sold his like a year and a half or two before Springsteen.
Oh.
Yeah, it didn't say when.
19 or 20 or something like that. I think is when his.
Damn, that's still a fuck ton of money though.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at them. They're both in their 70s, so they don't got to worry about nothing. You think I'm going to go out and perform again I got that kind of money?
Hell no.
No way.
I'm getting my ass to an island off the coast of Thailand.
I'm doing one show a year on my birthday, and that's it.
Yeah,
that is it. I'm doing a Willie Nelson. I'm doing one show on my birthday every year, and that's it. And bring all the pot you want to bring, type thing. Actually,
Willie Nelson.
Now here's a Tom Jones thing from the concert. He was talking about. He did a Willie song. Well, in '93, Willie covered the song "Across the Borderline" by Bob Dylan. He covered it on his album that year, "Across the Borderline." Tom Jones and them, they actually picked it up on this tour and started after he went to Vegas for Willie's 91st birthday last year. And he said Willie wanted him to play it with him. He said he'd never tried it before. And he said, I looked down, it's like, Willie's 91 and he's still singing. I'm only 84. I got time to go. And he did that song. And I tell you what, there's no one, when he decides to cover a song, there ain't a whole lot of people that could do it better. I'll just say it like that.
Who, Willie?
No, freaking Tom Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Okay. Well, if you want him to speak like William Shatner, yeah, Tommy Lee Jones. But Sir Tom Jones, that dude, I'm telling you, he got a voice. And of course, there's nobody there but me. My wife and I are weirdly like the youngest in the crowd. Okay.
Wow.
I'll tell you
really?
how this was looking. All right.
Wait, what did the crowd look like? Tell me describe the crowd to me in detail.
Your grandparents with round eyes. Okay.
Oh man. He went there, Paul. You know, he went there.
I'm just telling you,
he went to there.
Canes, there were people in canes, on walkers, and I mean they were, and there
some people were like on walkers and shit.
There was a couple, yeah. I mean, because of course they put them at the end, so anytime you got to go pee, you can't get out because they're on the end. You got to try and get past them.
Now, Randy, I got to ask you: were there some people in walkers who, during the performance, they were like all jumping around and dancing and shit?
There were a couple on canes.
On what?
On canes. They literally stood up with their cane and they're sitting there doing this stuff, you know. And
they're like hopping around on their cane.
I'm laughing at it because it's just so funny. And there's a lady that's about probably, I'm going to say 10, 12 rows in front of us. I don't think the woman ever sat down. Okay. Now, she wasn't an older woman. She was older. She's probably in her 50s, 60s, maybe. But you could tell she came there to party and she was partying. She had her hand in the air and she was dancing to everything.
So I would have loved to just seen the crowd.
I would have been more interested in the crowd, actually.
Yeah.
Now, Tom Jones is one of the first ones that they came out with women going out and throwing their panties on the stage at him. So it became an occurrence.
So did they throw like the pens at him?
No, panties.
Nice one.
Panties.
That was a good one.
Well, I know, but now did they throw the pens at him?
No, they did. Oh, I thought you said the pins. I was like, why would they throw pins at him?
Depends.
Anyway.
Oh, Randy totally missed it. Yeah, that was a good one.
The first one that did it, though, I'll say older lady and kind of a little bit more chunky than the rest. She's up there. She walks in the front of the stage. All you see is this bra that she had gotten off, and she's swinging it over her head. I'm going to tell you right now, you could have used that for a slingshot to the moon, okay? This thing was big, and she chunked it on stage. He had to stop singing for a minute and start laughing. He was laughing so hard at it, okay? But, yeah, no, them old ladies up front, they were chunking that stuff at him, left and right.
Did they throw false teeth at him?
Not that I knew of, but I couldn't have told you that. I wasn't in the nosebleeds, but I wasn't up on the stage either. I hate sitting in an orchestra pit. I like to be up a little bit.
Unfortunately, guys, this is where Donny Cho has to rein in on your parade and tell you that of all the music that we talked about tonight, K-pop is better. Sorry to break your hearts.
I'm going to tell you right now.
I'm sorry, guys. K-pop
You could go wrap up all the K-pop people you want, and not a single one of them can even help Tom Jones on stage. They're not even good roadies for Tom Jones, okay?
It is superior. It is the music of the future. It is already taken over all record sales in the world right now. It's like K-pop's already taken over the music industry. Like it's already happening.
Sell records?
What's up?
They still sell records?
Yeah, no, actually, K-pop sells more physical copies of music than any other genre by like a landslide.
That's because they don't want.
But the thing is, the reason why
another Fleetwood Mac song.
Oh,
what's that?
Landslide. You mentioned Landslide.
Oh,
yeah. Well, yeah. There you go.
But the reason why, though, the way they package these physical copies, it's not just like you're just buying the CD. They put a lot of stuff in there with it. There's like a lot of merchandise and the books, and you're buying like a whole set. So those sell a lot. So and that really drives like the because nobody buys physical music anymore, right?
Oh, bull crap! I got a record player right here, and I got stack full of records back there and records inside that. I've even got
there's some like audio files
who
who'll buy vinyl records and stuff, but on a mass level, like selling a fuck ton of like CDs, like nobody does that anymore.
Well, why would anybody want to?
Nobody buys physical music. In order for people to buy physical music, there's got to be more than just the music included, right? That's why they always include like these little books and photos and stories, a whole set. That's why K-pop sells more physical music than anyone else in the music industry. It's because of that.
Do they play
their
own instruments? Do they play instruments while they're singing? And
hell no, they don't. I'll tell you that.
No, it's all productions. But the thing is, it's the same as like rap and hip hop and R&B.
No,
and techno. What about techno? It's the same thing.
A lot.
Techno's not music.
It's
techno's not music.
Oh, okay. You could tell your DJ friends that I said that. Okay, but yeah, I agree. No, I don't. If it's music, it's got instruments.
Yep.
It's got somebody.
What about rap? Okay, hip hop. That's not music?
Actually, the vast majority, if you watch them, they have a band with them.
Nowadays it's all productions. It's all computers and productions.
But if they're in concert, I bet money they got a band with them.
Not the recent ones. He's talking about hip hop.
Oh, hip hop.
Yeah, I mean,
no,
yeah.
It's all DJs. It's all computers and DJs.
Yeah. Then I don't like that either. But I'm not a rap fan either, so that don't make.
I think the computer is the ultimate instrument. The ultimate instrument.
Yeah, let's discuss that for a second. Okay?
The instrument of the future.
Okay.
Why don't we sit there and think about America's Got Talent last week? Who were one of the finalists? A bunch of idiots that know how to program a drone. Okay. They literally had a drone show as one of the finalists.
Those drone shows are cool, though.
They can be, they are pretty cool to watch.
Cool.
Would you consider them a talent?
To program
would you consider
I wouldn't call it a talent. I would call it a feat.
Or a knowledge, right?
Knowledge.
A feat.
Yeah.
It's a knowledge. Okay. Yeah. I didn't consider it. Now, it was cool. Don't get me wrong. They're cool to watch.
Yeah.
But as far as a true talent, I didn't think that. I don't think like that. I think they're more of a learned skill.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons why I think K-pop is superior is because all these K-pop artists, they have to do like these very elaborate choreographed dances, and that shit ain't easy. And it's very elaborate, and that takes a lot of like effort and talent and skill to do that and sing on that level at the same time. I see all these like American artists and they're just doing music. That's so lazy.
Ever seen Pink in concert?
Yeah.
What's up?
Ever seen Pink in concert?
You need to.
Why she dance? I mean, I'm sure they dance, but they don't dance like these K-pop artists.
Oh, she dances and she flies through the crowd and sings while she's flying and spinning and flipping and stuff. I'm not a huge fan of hers. I don't like a lot of her music, but some of it. She is. We went to see them when she came here to St. Louis, and she was amazing. It was a pretty cool show.
It's a spectacle, ain't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a show.
But I think that elaborate dancing, that like people, the reason why people poo-poo K-pop is because they don't have those instruments. But at the same time, like, let's see these American artists do that level of dancing, dance on that level, and sing at that level at the same time. Well, half of them would have heart attacks.
You know, Tom Jones is one of the only people that ever got permission and had the blessing of Prince to remake one of his songs.
Really?
Yeah. Remember the song by Prince called Kiss?
Yeah.
Tom Jones remade that on his Reloaded album back in, I think it was it was in the 80s when he did it. But when he remade it, can you imagine, Prince's high-pitched voice through that whole song?
Yeah.
He did it in Tom Jones's baritone, okay? And at the lead break, you got Prince's in it. I think you better dance, type thing. You hear Tom Jones barrel out. I think I better dance now, and you're like, first time I ever heard it, I laughed so hard I could not stop. I was crying. But he did that in concerts at 84, and I'm sitting there and watching him. Is he going to dance? No, he changed it. You better play now. Let's look at the guitar player.
Okay, let me ask you guys this question. Ready? Okay. Who do you think? Who is your preference, or who do you think was better as a musician or an artist? Michael Jackson or Prince? Now, the whole weird Michael Jackson pedophilia stuff, leave that aside. Don't let that factor into your consideration, because I've noticed this debate where I got into this debate one time with a group of friends where people were arguing Prince versus Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Are we talking about artists? Are we talking about sales? Are we talking about
not numbers, but as artists, I guess, as musicians.
Prince
musicians,
hands down.
I'd say Prince.
Down. Prince played 10 or 12 damn instruments.
As a songwriter and performer, probably Michael Jackson.
And I didn't really consider I think a lot of the Michael Jackson songs were written by other people, weren't they?
I don't know. Were they?
I don't know.
But either way,
I'm sure he had some input. I'm sure he had input. I'm sure
oh yeah, no doubt.
Oh yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But
Prince was writing.
Yeah. I mean, when he died, he was on a tour that was just nothing but him and a piano. Yeah. He was on his piano tour, and I'm like, when he died, I was caught off guard so bad. I didn't realize that he was on the prescription drugs as bad as he was, obviously. So
you ever hear about the stories about the rivalry or the personal beef between Prince and Michael Jackson?
No,
I ain't heard anything about it.
Apparently they hated each other, and it got to a point where they had to have a confrontation. And
really?
Look up the whole saga of Prince and Michael Jackson. There was a rivalry, and it got kind of bitter, and they were kind of talking shit to each other, and they kind of hated each other. But then at the very end, toward after their careers were largely over, they kind of reconciled and they became friends at the very end before they died.
Yeah,
it's an interesting story. The story of Michael Jackson and Prince.
I was caught. Don't get me wrong. Now, I never really cared for Michael Jackson. He had some songs I liked. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I just thought he embroiled himself in entirely too much controversy.
Yeah.
Prince, quite frankly, Prince hated everybody in the music industry, period, it seemed like.
Oh, Deborah Mueller was right. The reason why they were cool in the beginning was because they were both Jehovah's Witnesses. So people asked, Prince, I remember this one interview where they were like, because you're both Jehovah's Witnesses, were you guys ever cool with each other? And I think they knew each other when they were young, coming up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then something happened between them where there was this deep-seated hatred when they were both huge.
Yep.
It's a fascinating story. I'm telling you, look it up. And then Bristol says Michael Jackson ain't Asian Carp. Enough said.
I love Bristol.
Yep. Good job, Bristol.
Way to bring it full circle.
Yeah, well, I mean, you talk about Prince as being a performer or whatever. Look at that video that's run around all over YouTube, with him doing the While My Guitar Gently Sleeps with Tom Petty and all those guys. Mm-hmm. And you could see George Harris's son when Prince walked out and started doing the lead. This dude was marking out. He looked like a mark at a wrestling match. His eyes got this wide, and he was like, "Oh, this is cool," and they kept on going. And at the end, Prince, they unplugged everything. Prince throws his guitar up in the air. It never came down. You never saw it come down. Somebody said, really? See, you had 4 greats right there, and then a god took over. He was so godlike, he threw his guitar up and it never came down.
Let me take that.
Yeah, exactly. But it was amazing. He was amazing at almost everything he did, really. And people used to think he was in the early 80s when he was first coming out. Oh, he's gay. That guy's gay. And I'm sitting there like, have you guys seen the women that are around this dude?
Mm-hmm.
Are you missing something that I'm missing?
Okay, how about this? Let me ask you this question. What music that you like is what you would consider people would be the most surprised with?
Be surprised of what music that we like?
Is there a specific act that you really... Okay, for example, I don't admit this in public sometimes, okay? But when Hanson first came out, I was kind of bopping to that.
Oh my God.
Hey, but was there that one song that you're almost embarrassed to admit that you really like?
Yeah. And you know what? I've got the actual acoustic version they did for the Stargirl series.
Yeah.
Their acoustic version I have on my YouTube so I can listen to it every so often. It's better in acoustic than it was originally. But yeah, I'm with you on that. That was one of those I actually enjoyed because it was a good feel-good song.
Do you have that one, Paul? The one that you're like embarrassed to admit that you like?
I don't know. Who's that? Was it Johnny Legend? Sings
John
Happy.
Legend?
Yeah, sings Happy.
Oh, that's
the one that Oprah liked so much. That was on
Pharrell.
Who?
Pharrell Williams.
Yeah. It was.
That's not embarrassing to admit that you like, though.
I'm just trying to think of something.
When you're from the backwoods like we are, yeah, it is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Really? Oh. Yeah.
If I went out in '85 after going hunting and come back, I'm gonna go listen to my Tom Jones. You think I wouldn't have got hell? But you know what?
I'm going to go listen to Barry Manilow.
I did that too. I'm going to tell you right now. I listen to Barry Manilow all day long.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here thinking, like, honestly, like, I respect y'all's opinions. I still think BTS is better. Sorry.
Yeah.
BTS is better than all of them.
We all can't be perfect in every way, you know.
Yeah, we can't be.
Davis would say.
I think BTS.
We will agree to disagree, my friends. We will agree to disagree.
Nuh-uh, I'm not going to agree to nothing. I refuse. I'm telling you, we're building a wall. We're building a wall.
In the water.
In the water.
They're against diversity, folks.
To stop the damn carp.
They're against inclusion. They're not willing to include K-pop. They're not willing to expand their diversity and musical tastes with K-pop. Do you see, guys? Do you see why we need more Asian carp in America? We need more Asian carp.
Direction, okay? I've had to listen to One Direction. I don't have to bend over backwards no more for nobody else. I've had to listen to One Direction. I'm done with it.
Oh, you were forced to listen to it? Oh, because you got daughters. Oh,
daughters. Yes, daughters.
Oh, they were into One Direction. Damn.
One of them was until I like 5 Seconds of Summer. I'm like, who?
I like the whole 3 months of summer.
Well, did she like any of your music, Randy?
They have no choice because it was in the daggum CD player the entire time they were growing up while they were in the back seat.
Was there any music that you liked that she hated?
Not really, because they listened to pretty much everything I do. I used to play in everything I played in bands and stuff, and whenever I play the guitar and stuff and do shows, they like it all. But you know, I have my daughters and one of my grandsons would ride in the back seat when I was stationed up in DC, and the very first song on the CD that I'd burnt was always TNT by AC/DC. And I've got 3 kids.
AC/DC is a fun band. I do like them.
I've got 3 kids in the back, you know, going, oi, 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 banging their heads and stuff. And I'm like, I'm so proud.
And you know what, guys? I am not against Western music because I only became a K-pop fan like 2 years ago. Prior to that, I was primarily into like 80s metal and rock and like 90s hip hop.
What kind of 80s metal?
What metal? Yeah.
I was obsessed with Metallica.
Oh yeah.
And Guns N' Roses. Like growing up as a kid, because you know I was born in 1980, so growing up as a kid for me, like the bands I was most obsessed with were Metallica and Guns N' Roses. The 90s come along, I get into grunge. I'm all obsessed with like 9 Inch Nails, Smashing Pumpkins. You know,
I never got into the grunge scene.
I like a couple of 9 Inch Nails, but you know, I mean, like I said, even Trent Reznor said, you know, that song "Hurt," which was probably one of their better songs. It wasn't his no more once Johnny Cash got hold of it. He admitted it. He's like, "That's not my song no more."
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses did a concert here one time, and the night after they were going to be here, it was supposed to be some kind of Pink Floyd laser light show that I was going to go to. Yeah. But Guns N' Roses just had a mosh pit, and they destroyed Riverport Amphitheater where the thing was going to be. And ever since then, I've hated Guns N' Roses. I do like some of their songs, but I cannot stand Axl Rose anymore.
Stone Temple Pilots. That's another one I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Alice in Chains. I was really into White Zombie for some reason. Remember them? White Zombie. I think it was because of ECW.
Yeah.
Tool, Radiohead, Really big into Radiohead. Actually, first concert I ever went to was a Radiohead concert. Saw Weezer.
Weezer's great. Weezer's great.
Yes.
Well,
Weezer was great. That was a great concert.
They did a cover of Africa, and I was watching a video. Yeah, by Toto originally. Weezer does a cover for it during some of their concerts. They did one. They actually brought out Weird Al Yankovic on the accordion with them to do the show, to do Africa. It was amazing. Weird Al jammed with them the whole way. I was like, that is cool as hell.
So go ahead.
Is there a band or a performer that you guys would absolutely go see no matter what?
Metallica. Metallica. I have to see them.
Yeah.
Well, mine was the Eagles. Unfortunately, when they first got back together in the early 90s, I watched the concert show, obviously, but I wanted to go see them forever. But, young E4 in the Army, there ain't much money to go around when you got wife and kids and stuff. So when they come to Nashville and it's $120 a pop for the cheap seats down in Nashville, see them, like, yeah, I ain't spending $100 and some odd dollars when I got to put food on the table. So I never really got to see them. And now after Glenn Fry died, obviously I wasn't going to try and go with, because it's just not the same. I don't care what they do. It's just not going to be the same.
Yeah.
That's why the Tom Jones was such a big deal, because this was one of the bucket list ones,
Yeah.
Can I, okay, before we go, because it's getting kind of late, I don't think I've ever shared this ever in public before, but I would like to tell you guys a story of how I got into K-pop. Okay.
So, am I going to want to hear it, first of all?
Yeah, you're going to want to hear it. This is I think this is interesting.
Okay.
So growing up as a Korean American, I grew up around K-pop because K-pop was around since like the early 90s, right? And it's gone through different iterations. But as a Korean American who was all into like Metallica and Guns N' Roses, I would see like other Korean people listening to that shit, and I would think it was like the dumbest shit ever. It was like some bubblegum bullshit, whatever, right? Because I like the music I like, right? Like Nine Inch Nails and shit. So, I told you guys I only got into K-pop like 2 years ago. I'm 44 right now, so I was like 41, 42. No, I was probably 40. It was more than 2 years ago now. But I've remembered, so I was living in Korea for like 10 years, and some K-pop was okay, I thought, but largely I was not interested. So a couple years ago, like I meet this woman. She's like this middle-aged white woman who plays in like a band, right? Like that's her job. Like she's got like a regular day job, but her night job is she does gigs, and they do cover songs, and they'll do like 70s and 80s, and she's a drummer. So her whole life is music, right? And she's all into like, they'll play the classics, whatever rock, they're a cover band. And this has been her job for like years, apart from her day job, right? She's a friend of mine. And then I see her like social media and Instagram, and it's all just on like this one K-pop dude. Like this one, like not just a boy band, but one member of that boy band. Meanwhile, this lady's playing like gigs and doing like, play Zeppelin, play like Bruce Springsteen, and she'll just play because she's a drummer.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, what in the fuck? At first, when I saw this, I was like, this doesn't make sense to me. This doesn't compute for a guy like me to see this, right? She's an older middle-aged woman, white woman who grew up in America around music, going to concerts since like the 70s. And her whole Instagram is just like this one Korean dude. So I'm like, one day I just muster up the courage. I'm like, what's going on here? She's like, well, there's like this fan site, and I wrote this open letter to him, and she sent me the link, and I got real curious. So I went on there, and I read her open letter to that one K-pop dude, and she goes into this whole thing about how like she sees, like she's talking about like her theory on reincarnation.
Oh wow.
And spirituality, and like that when she saw him, it like she felt like a psychic awakening. She said psychic awakening. I'm like, what in the fuck is this? Right?
Yeah.
So I start getting into it. So I call my buddy Isaac. I'm like, I've been so out of touch with K-pop. tell me who the hot bands are. Give me some recommendations. I call one of my Korean best friends, and he gives me a list, and then I get into this one group. It's Blackpink, right? It's a girl group. It's a 4-member girl group, right? And so I put on one of their videos, and granted, I was inebriated at the time. I was fairly drunk and fairly on other substances that are totally legal, by the way.
Now.
They're legal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now.
I was not on any illegal substances.
Okay.
Totally legal. Just saying. And I was watching this one Blackpink video, and I just started busting out crying, like harder than I've cried in years.
Really?
And it was not even like a sad video. It was just them jumping around, doing some bubblegum shit. But it wasn't even that. It was like I kind of looked behind them, and it was like this psychic laser beam just hit me, and I just started bursting in tears. Like I couldn't even believe what was happening. I was like, I didn't even realize, like, why am I crying so hard? And I just couldn't stop crying.
What was the name of the song?
It wasn't even the song itself. It was like as if what was beamed into me was coming from behind the song. You know? Like it wasn't even sad or nothing. It was just like something was just, and then I was like, holy shit, that lady's letter. I get it now. And that's why at the end of the day, K-pop is better than y'all's music. And this is why the Asian Carp wins.
You know, I was going to say I'm going to check out K-pop, but I'm not.
Thank you. I would just be lying to you if I said it was.
All right, I think we'll end on that, folks. Peace. You guys have any final words or anything to you'd like to share with the folks actually before we peace out tonight?
Yeah.
Go Metallica.
I got one. I got one for you.
Yeah, go.
It's not unusual to make love to anyone.
Oh, he's doing it. He's singing, Paul.
Can you mute him? Can you mute him?
Singing. Actually, I won't. I'll wait for Randy to decide.
I am done. I just want to make sure y'all knew that.
All right, Paul. Do you have any last words or thoughts?
After that, no. I feel sick to my stomach.
Oh, hush. You enjoyed it. Trust me.
Sure.
He sure do got a pretty mouth.
Oh, that's weird.
What happened?
I about to say, what the heck did you do?
What the heck did you do?
Oh, is it the same color as your green screen?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool, actually.
Hey, you got a ghost. Hey, man, there's a ghost there. There's a ghost. I saw it. It's right there. I see it.
Hey, guys, what do you think? Do you think I should go green screen? Do you think does it suck up a lot of like your juice? Is that
not really? I mean,
so? Not really.
Mine doesn't have a green screen behind me. I just got background blurred. That's all I got.
Does that suck up a lot of your computing juice?
No.
Oh, so really? Yeah, I've been thinking about maybe I should go green screen. I think like my background's kind of dumb. Actually, you know what? It's kind of cool when my dog randomly shows up on the couch, though. Yeah, I'll leave it on for.
I like that. That is kind of cool. I like.
It's kind of a nice little touch. I feel like.
Yeah.
All right.
As long as it doesn't start humping the leg of the couch back there.
Yeah, he's sleeping right over here. Okay. Peace out, guys. We're gonna go fuck off and enjoy the rest of your Saturdays.
Y'all have fun.
See you guys. Have a good night.